Are we doing an interview? Oh, okay. All right.
Whoops, I'm sorry. I'll stop that. Yeah.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah. We're doing an interview. I'll stop talk. I I'm good. So good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Faces for Autism South Cruise Field of Dreams celebration dinner. Over the last 20 years, we've had support from many schools. This one I'm speaking about in particular has been a phenomenal assist to the Field of Dreams. They've given back their teaching staff, their baseball teams, their softball teams, and just in general, whatever we need, they've always been here. I'm proud to be speaking on behalf of the Atlantic County Institute of Technology. Here with me today are two former baseball coaches. They are Mike Anthony was your head coach. Gabe Sano was not only my history teacher, but an assistant baseball coach. Thank you guys for being here tonight.
Thanks for having us, Jacob.
I know you guys were involved with the field for a while. So how did you hear about us, get involved, and so forth?
I'll take that one. So I remember hearing about it. We had a lot of ACIT players at the time whose neighborhoods, I think, were just adjacent to Field of Dreams. So they were there, whether they were participating or volunteering or just, hanging out around the field. So I heard a lot of chatter about it through them. And I figured it was something that be worth for us to check out as a team, since we were looking to do some volunteer activities and sort of see things outside of just our normal daily practice and game routine, just to build upon them as young men and sort of see the different situations everybody else is in. And we started the 1 year, and before we got on, you said it was just a small group that we started with of just a few guys, and not too much of a presence did we make our first time around, but year after year, I felt like it just had grown beyond the baseball team. We had just staff members that weren't affiliated to any sports teams at all that just wanted to come out and be a part of it. And I think that's largely in part of just the magnetism that you have, Jacob, with your personality and how special you were to us as ACIT, that everybody wanted to be a part of such a special organization.
Yeah, Mike, and because of districts, as I said, like ACIT, that want to give back their time, that are at the field all the time. And Gabe, this goes in part to you because you organize the staff now, because whenever we need help, ACIT is always my first call before I start going down the list, because you can always bring a group out. It doesn't have to be, the baseball, the softball. We've had Key Club, we've had JROTC, yeah. So it's not just the baseball team anymore, and it's really become a school-wide, community-wide event.
Yeah, most definitely. A lot of just staff members that aren't necessarily affiliated with any teams, or teachers, security, administration, all different kind of facets have been coming pretty consistently now, and everyone brings their families, they bring their kids. It's a special place. I think when we started, as Mike mentioned, we had a lot of ACIT kids, and I think they were the only ones that really, as far as I knew, like,
I think you're chunking, Gabe.
parts of different organizations, and they keep wanting to go back because it really is. It's just a beautiful thing. Just optimism and warmth and fun, and just to be there as a big group playing baseball, having hot dogs, sitting there, but then just with so much joy with these kids. It's a really special thing for this area, and I mean my parents have come. My children, I keep wanting to go back as well. So happy to keep the tradition alive and growing. And it has grown over the years too. Just the facility, it's a beautiful thing. And yeah, Jacob, you're kind of the mayor there, and driving force behind it. It's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, and I've said this time and time again tonight, without the volunteers, there is no Field of Dreams. Without the sponsors that hang so nicely on the outfield wall that Larry McCarty has done a phenomenal job with over the last 3, 4, 5 years. Without that, without the board members that are like my second family, that are my second family, I should say, we don't have anything. So I've said this many, many times tonight too. I strongly advise you, bring your children out, whether they are 3, 4, 5, 6, bring them out. It's a good life lesson, no matter how old you are, even if they cannot be on the field. I've got a lot of them since ACIT's been there so much, but is there one particular, you both can answer this, is there one particular memory that stands out?
One particular. It's hard to pick out just one, but just really just looking at the joy on our own, like just how much fun our students are having, engaging with the kids, and then there's one kid, a few of them actually hit really hard, and I almost got my head taken off by a line drive a couple times because I wasn't paying attention what like I should have. I forget the young man's name, but it literally it almost knocked me out. The line drive right past my ear, felt it. I wish I remembered his name.
Right. I mean, that happened to me. I almost had some near misses myself, and I have to tell the kids, especially the kids that you brought up, Mike, Chrissy, Dylan, they were very good. You have to stand in front of me. If the ball comes flying and I got knocked out, you've got my friends over there, the board, watching every move. I said, something happens and I get knocked out, we're in
big trouble. Yeah, we're gonna get blackballed from Field of Dreams.
Yeah, you would hear it. So, Mike, there's one memory among them all.
I remember. I think it was our first year there. I think it was Dylan Marandino was with one of the young children, and they were in the outfield. And I remember they were just sort of like picking flowers in the outfield, completely just absent from the game totally. But it was such just a nice, genuine, authentic moment where they're just laying down and connecting with one another and, picking the daffodils out of the outfield. And it just shows just all the different types of levels of sort of game awareness you have there, but it's beyond just that focusing on, beating the other team. It's just connecting with people and having those special little moments with with those around you. It's somebody that you've met literally 5 minutes ago, and then be able to have this really nice moment with them. Other moments would be when we do the home run derby. I remember the biggest strikeout ever, seeing Gabe Stano there at the end, whiffing and giving everybody in the audience a nice cool breeze with his bat. That was another good memory.
I was about to say the same thing about you.
Well, I said it first. So.
If that happened, I raised my mind. Damn. At least it was gave you guys a nice breeze. Kind of guy I am.
I've seen I've seen that, but you know, it's the little things that make the biggest difference. And you two know that, having been there as many times as you were. And I mean, like you said, Mike, I mean, you may only have met the person 5 minutes ago, but it's the smallest things. Like Louis Vanini just told me last time he was out, and I think it was when you were there, Gabe, he had a kid who remembered who he was. And you know, I'll go back to the bond, the connection. It's the little things like that that are the biggest milestones, I guess you could say.
Yeah, most definitely. It is. Yeah, you know, to go there on a Friday or Saturday night in the spring, no matter what happened during the day, what you read in the newspaper, that kind of stuff, which is usually negative, you leave the Field of Dreams like thinking optimistically, like, you know what, the world's pretty good. Just being there and looking around, it is a good thing, and I recommend it for anybody to get out there and volunteer. And if you do, you'll know what I'm talking about if you haven't experienced it, and you will be back.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you kids, and you know, I remember, Mike, I've heard your speech many times to your players when I've been there to them, and then I've heard Scoops speak as well. And I mean, I think hearing the stories of, you don't know what the person's going through from day one to day two. That's another thing too, because you don't know what you're dealing with from moment to moment. You could have someone like myself, and then have someone so difficult that's on the autism spectrum that you don't know what to experience. And I think that is a life lesson, especially for your players. So Gabe started to answer this, but I'll do it anyway. If you could give anyone any advice as to why they should consider bringing a group to volunteer, what would you say to them?
Advice?
Any advice as to why?
Yeah. I would just say, get out there and listen to the directions at the beginning and enjoy yourself, and prepare to obviously just look around, take it in, observe, and talk to as many of the young people playing the game as possible, and look up in the stands and look at the joy, on their parents, guardians, watching them play and have so much fun, and just, them having, a little break too, just to watch from a distance their parents watching their kids just have the time of their lives. you know, and be recognized for what they're doing out there. It's just take it in, really. That's my advice.
Yeah, I agree. You know, it's all that as well. I mean, it's just such a positive environment to be in that if it's somebody's first time going, it's a great way to just sort of step out of our own little bubbles that we live in each day and sort of get the bigger picture of just the how, you know, humanity is positive. You know, people just be good to one another. It's so simple just to just be nice to somebody, you know, without expecting anything in return. But we take that for granted every day. And I think it's very just easy for us to always expect to get something back. But this is just for the sake of being positive to one another and helping one another and being part of something bigger than yourself. And, you know, realizing all the, you know, great things that we often take for granted in our lives as well. So I think it's just a, you know, special place to be. And I just got some orange juice for my son. And, you know, I just say anybody, once you leave, once you're there, you understand what it's really meant for. It's not just about baseball. It's about, you know, bigger things in life that are important.
Yeah, Mike, the bigger things. And I remember, well, I'm going to go back to a point you made a few moments ago with the kids that you know, like Dylan Marandino playing in the Flowers, or you see, I really never knew, I'll put his name out there, but I really never knew Chris Sieg that well. And I mean, we got to know each other backtracking things to the field. So stuff like that, you know, because a couple of them were older than I was, and then they came back to volunteer on their own. So, friends, the Field of Dreams has done a lot for all of us. Myself, Gabe, Mike, everyone that's been involved tonight. Please donate if you can. There's a donation button down the bottom of this screen somewhere. If you can just enjoy the evening, the stories will continue, the music will continue, and then I will have a big thank you at the end. So thank you, everybody who's come out tonight. Thank you, Gabe. Thank you, Mike, for the interview. And
my pleasure.
Thanks for having me, Jake. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure, guys.